Where do you think I am? I'm in the middle of a vineyard. I thought I'd show you something a little different today. Look at this. Everywhere I look, there's grapes. Now these particular grapes, see all the wires that are holding these up in the nice long rows? And that's how they train these particular grapes. If you look on here, you see most of the stems are still here, but most of the grapes have been removed. Now, how do you suppose they did that? They did that with an automatic, a gas-powered machine, and it runs across here, and it's got legs that straddle each one of these rows, and it shakes the vines, and then it shakes most of the grapes right off. All of the ones that are ready to come off, it shakes off. Now obviously you're going to have a few that are going to remain. You're not going to get every single one off of here, but it shakes them off, and then you don't have to pick them by hand. And other grapevines you end up picking by hand. It just kind of depends. You know, those machines are about $250,000 or so, and if you don't have that much, you just do them by hand. That's kind of how that works. Now my friend, he's got 4 or 5 different crews, and they usually do everything. They cut everything by hand and they load it up, kind of like how I showed you a little bit before. But it just depends what his customer wants. If it's a flatland area, and if they want the machines, and he just has a couple friends and he subs it out to them to pick it all for them, you know. And then he runs other crews and they pick them by hand. And certain bushes or grapevine, I guess you would call it a bush, certain ones require to be cut by hand, you know, if it's not all strung up like this. Because sometimes you go to a vineyard and you see other bushes and they're just individual ones and they're kind of strung out all over the place. They've already actually been trained that way, and that's a different type of grape, and those you would have to pick by hand. Certain things I'm kind of learning because I've talked to my friend a little bit about the wine business now, and not a whole lot, you know. I just asked him a few different questions, and I wanted to give you some different information just in case you were kind of wondering about grapes and stuff, you know. Or hey, if you got a lot of money and if you want to buy a vineyard, maybe you want to buy a vineyard but you don't know anything about a vineyard, but you want to huff and puff and tell your friends that you own a vineyard. You know, hey, there are those types of people out there. And or if you just want to have somebody run your vineyard, you can. And that's what my friend does. He manages other people's vineyards. So again, you want more information about that, you can contact me and I'll put you in contact with him. Now, what are these sprinklers up here for? See that? There's a sprinkler head right there. That's not really to water the whole vineyard. You see this black pipe down here? That's what actually waters it. And that's on a timer, and they go off every who knows how often, you know. Here you still see the water where that one kind of had dripped from before. And I asked him, I said, hey, how come some places have big, huge fans and in other vineyards you don't see the big fans? He says, well, we've got a lot of water here. They got the Russian River that's fairly close by, so they've got lots of water, and they run up these sprinklers. So when it gets really super cold and they think frost is gonna affect their vines, they run sprinklers, and that keeps everything kind of wet and moving around enough so it's not going to get frost and it's not going to damage the vines as much. So they run sprinklers. I never knew that. Now Video Joe knows, and so do you. Ha. Wow, this is just amazing. I'm just out here all by myself, walking around. Wanted to give you a taste of what it takes to get that bottle of wine out to you. If you're a wine drinker and you enjoy a bottle of wine every once in a while, you know, they come from somewhere, and there's a lot of work put in to making one bottle of wine. I think I'm in a particular vineyard. What was he saying? I think it was 136 acres. Row after row after row. They just go on forever, it seems like. Get my morning sun. I'm not used to being away from Maui and not getting this sun every morning. This is nice. Yeah, this is only a couple hours later. We're at a different vineyard. He's got another crew over here picking grapes for another client of his. Oh yeah, he doesn't just have one client. He's got many clients, different vineyards. So if you want to buy a vineyard, let's say you want to buy a vineyard, but you want someone else to manage it all, to harvest it, to prune it, to fertilize it, to do everything throughout the year, this is the man you want right here in the orange. That's my friend Victor. Anywhere in Napa. We're in Geyserville right now. But he's got contracts for quite a few different vineyards throughout the surrounding areas. So if you're interested in purchasing your own vineyard and you need somebody to run it, let me know and I'll put you in contact with them. Hey, so I'm in the little town of Geyserville, and there's just one street here. This is pretty much the whole main town strip. It's not very big. And he's getting breakfast for all of his guys. Isn't that kind of nice of him? You know, he's got about 50 workers out there. He's got 4 or 5 different crews today. And once a week or so, he picks them all up, breakfast burritos and coffee and stuff, to keep them happy, I guess. Just a little fringe benefit of working for him. I thought that was kind of cool. Now, where is Geyserville, you're wondering? It's close to Healdsburg, and that's, you know, in the Napa area, Sonoma. He does some stuff in Santa Rosa. If you got any questions about that, you're looking to purchase a vineyard and you need some help, give me a shout. That's all I got for this time, but I'll be back with more videos.